Bunny Man.
And I'm Crazy Susie.
And we are in the Eyes of Terror.
And I didn't write the title of this one down either.
This is Troll. Oh, this... something month. Yay!
I don't know why I haven't been doing that. Anyway, we're getting called up. That's the important part.
Yep. So this is our end of the month special for last month. We are reviewing Troll 1986. Not to be confused with the other classic, Troll 2. This is Troll, the first one.
Yeah, we'll get Troll 2 at the end of the year.
Yeah, repeat. This is Troll, the first one. So...
Troll is a comedy, fantasy, horror. It's PG-13. It's 1 hour and 22 minutes long. And it was released in the U.S. in January of 1986. Some of you may not have even been alive then. I was wiping my own butt.
Good for you. I'm wiping my own butt now.
We watched this on Amazon, and IMDb gives it a score of 4.4 out of 10. The director is John Carl Beichler. The writer is Ed Nen. And the cast, I will let you say, because evidently I can't talk.
Now I have to read your handwriting. Noah Hathaway plays Harry Potter Jr. Michael Moriarty plays Harry Potter Sr. Shayla Hack is Anne Potter. Ginny Beck is Wendy Ann Potter. Sonny Bono is Peter Pixon. Phil Fantacaro plays Malcolm Mallory. Brad Hall plays William Daniels. Anne Lockhart plays young Eunice St. Clair. Julia Davis-Dreyfus plays Jeanette Cooper, and many, many more at imdb.com. And we have the Grumpy Luna.
Grumpy Luna.
Come here.
The budget for this film was $1,100,000. It grossed over $5 million. And the storyline is very long.
The storyline is that a young Harry Potter found out that he was a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry. Potter.
You're a wizard. You are a wizard, son. You're a wizard. You are a wizard. Okay. A wicked troll king in search of a mystical ring that will return him to his human form invades a San Francisco apartment complex where a powerful witch lives.
I guess if a troll is going to live anywhere, San Francisco is the place to be.
The one I was writing down evidently was a different one. But anyway.
Oh, so what are we drinking? Drinking ice water.
Drinking is drinking?
Drinking is drinking.
Maybe you've had too many drinkings.
Maybe not. Luna is drinking ice water.
Luna is very particular. I've tried to get Luna to drink ionized water and she won't touch it. She's very fond of the tap. But she likes the ice in her water.
Yes.
She's spoiled.
What are you drinking?
I don't know. My Dr. Pepper is empty.
We have a broken Dr. Pepper. So will you be continuing Dr. Pepper or will you be drinking water? Iced water out of a bowl?
I'm not a dog. My face will get wet. I'll get water up my nose.
And I am drinking a Shock Top Ruby Fresh Grapefruit. This is actually one of my favorite out of all of the summer ones. I like this one, and there's that special one that I liked. Like that rare one. Those are the only two I really enjoyed. I'm not a big fan of the orange one. It always reminds me of like Pledge.
I thought the lemon.
Huh?
The lemon reminds you of Pledge.
Yeah, the lemon, and I'm not a fan of the orange because it sort of reminds me of urinal cakes. I don't know why.
Yummy.
Yeah, so not like I go around licking your cakes, but it seems like the default scent is orange. So I have weird associations in my head. So the grapefruit I actually enjoy because it's a nice combination between the sweet and the sour.
Okay. Good to know.
Yes. All right. So Troll. Let's talk about Troll.
We're done talking about urinal cakes.
Oh, unless there's
You
trolls.
got that out of your system?
Yes.
Luna, you gonna obsess over the neighbors now? Okay, so the movie begins with a stack of old books on a desk. The storybook opens. and the story-
No. For this, they're not old books. They're old tomes. Tomes.
Okay. The storybook opens, and the story begins.
tome.
The Potter family begins moving into their new apartment. Mr. Potter goes to get dinner. Mom goes upstairs and asks Harry Jr. to look after his sister Wendy. He fails at this job, and little Wendy gets down in the basement and bounces her ball down the stairs. And the neighborhood troll trades places with her.
So, like every other neighborhood troll.
I know it. Don't you hate trolls?
Every block, every troll.
Harry Jr. comes looking for her, and Wendy scares him. Wendy's mother later questions her about where she found her beautiful ring. Wendy is extremely enthusiastic when eating her rat burger.
Oh, you call that enthusiasm? I call that annoyancy. When she's screaming rat burgers throughout the hallway.
So I guess the dad has this thing to where when he goes to a greasy dive to get a really crappy, cheap hamburger, he calls them rat burgers. I don't know if you guys know this. If you guys have been listening to us the entire time we've had this podcast, you probably caught on to the fact that we're vegans. We don't eat meat. And it's not because we're trying to save animals. Not that saving animals isn't a good cause. It definitely is. I'm not going to get on my high horse or anything, but I started eating this way because I have a lot of chronic health conditions, and I feel better when I eat this way. My system just doesn't tolerate meat or dairy. Anyway, but the idea of calling something a rat burger, I'm sure would disgust pretty much anybody. That does not sound appetizing. I'm sure if anybody went into a restaurant, greasy dive or not, that sold something that was called a rat burger, they would say, no thank you.
Although, I had to, in defense of Greasy Dives, a lot of the best burgers before I went vegan were from Greasy Dives. So...
But were they called rat burgers?
No, only there's that one place in Nevada, this Roadkill Cafe. I think they have a rat burger, but this is just euphemism that this guy says.
Right, but it's called the Roadkill Cafe. They're gonna have quirky names for their food.
Yeah.
I mean, it
But
kind of goes
he- I mean,
along
he's
with
not-
the whole theme of
But
the
I mean, it's
place.
not like he goes to the restaurant. The restaurant's like, "Do you want a rat burger?" No, he just calls them rat burgers. But the issue is that this troll slash human thing attaches itself to this name and screams it down the hallway.
Wendy scarfs down the burger like it's her last meal. She
Her first.
crams it in. Demanding more rat burgers, she grabs her brother's burger and ran.
She grabbed the bag. There was a bag full of them. So
She grabbed his burger out of his hand while he was fixing to eat.
yeah, but I mean, she also grabbed a bag.
The next thing, the fire alarm is going off, and Wendy is running downstairs yelling, "Give me rat burgers!" to the neighbors. The kids run outside, leaving Dad inside to explain what was happening to the neighbors. Another neighbor runs in from jogging, covered in sweat and with headphones on. He knocks Mr. Potter down on the stairs. They have a short convo. Mr. Potter assures the neighbors that the alarm is false.
Well, what we find out about the jogging guy is that he is a former Marine captain or something like that. Or at least he claims to be.
Another neighbor asks if this bag of burgers belong to him. Wendy runs in and yells, "Rat burgers!" Wendy acts crazy, yelling and throwing things, saying, "I am Godzilla!" The next morning, Harry Jr. wakes and the apartment is almost all organized. Wendy sleeps in. Wendy's parents are worried that she is not acting like herself. Dad asks if she looks feverish. Mom says no. She checked her fever and she was fine. So Mom tells Wendy to go into the kitchen and get some fresh orange juice. She opens the fridge and is shocked that the items inside the fridge are cold. Then she throws her brother across the room. Dad asks if everything is okay, and Harry Jr. says yes, he just tripped. Wendy goes upstairs to Peter's apartment.
Who knew you could trip and just fly into the wall?
Right. She plays hide and seek with him and then turns back into a troll. He touches his arm with the troll's ring and he turns into a pod. And it opens and his whole apartment turns into a forest. Inside the forest are other trolls. Harry Jr. goes to a neighbor's apartment. He asks to come in because he needs to throw up.
Don't you always ask when you need to throw up in somebody's apartment?
Right. Once Wendy sees her troll friends, she turns back to human.
And the troll's
Yeah. Turns back into human form and goes back downstairs. Harry Jr. introduces himself to the neighbor, Eunice. She says he is always welcomed. Wendy meets Malcolm and asked him if he is an elf. Malcolm is a little person. Harry goes to the store to get milk. Wendy decides to stay home. Wendy goes and knocks on a neighbor's door. Duke, right?
Duke.
She says she needs advice. He says he has looked death in the face. She asked, "What does it look like?" And then turns into the troll. He asked, "What are you?" He grabs his gun and shoots at it, but no luck. Harry Jr. hears Duke yell and yells for his mom and dad. So the troll used its ring to knock Harry Jr. out. Wendy goes inside and tells her dad Harry fell outside. The troll forest grows and the trolls increase in numbers. Harry Jr. tells Dad, "Please don't let Wendy in. If I'm sick, I don't want Wendy to get it. She's just a kid, you know." Wendy invited Malcolm to dinner and did not tell his parents he was a little person. Mrs. Potter and Anne fixed him chocolate milk, although he preferred gin and tonic.
Who doesn't prefer gin and tonic over chocolate milk?
I don't know, it depends on what mood I'm in. Harry Jr. stayed in his room and watched TV. Anne has asked Malcolm to recite the Fairy Queen story. The trolls are singing, and the mushroom plant in Eunice's apartment sings. Eunice tells her mushroom friend Galvin, I can't remember what his name is. It looks like it's called Galvin. I apologize. It's starting again. She gets up and blows from a war horn. Is that what you said it was?
Yeah, it was a war horn.
The next morning, Wendy and Harry Jr. come to the table for breakfast. Wendy takes Harry's juice and refuses to give it back. When her dad tells her to return it, she pours it in the floor. Harry Jr. tells her mom and dad it's fine, and he has promised to have breakfast with Eunice. So he leaves and goes to Eunice's apartment. He talks to Eunice about her being a witch and talks to her about his idea of his sister being an alien. She says close, but no cigar. It's not Gavin, it's Gowlin.
Gavin, Gowlin, it's the same
Gowlin.
thing.
Gowlin is introduced to Harry and is explained to Harry that he should keep an eye on his sister while he is with Eunice. The troll goes to Jeanette's apartment and takes her captive. Later, when her boyfriend William comes by, she traps him in the forest. Malcolm comes home and sees Wendy in the hall.
So, the troll has killed several... Would you say killed? Yeah, I guess killed is a good term. Killed several people, and sort of like the forest is sort of connecting together through these apartments.
I wouldn't say they've killed them. It's more like they've
Metamorphosed?
kind of like trapped them.
Yeah. Metamorphosed or whatever, and and then inside these apartments they sort of turn into another realm on top of it, so they're bigger on the inside than they are on the outside type thing.
Right. So Malcolm sees Wendy in the hall when he comes home. He does not have his keys and thinks he is locked out of his apartment. He says the door is locked. She says the door is not locked. She goes inside. She asks him if he is sick, and he says yes. She says he can't die. He is too special.
Brother Elf.
He draws her a bunny. Malcolm tells her when he was young, he would daydream about being in a land of magic where they are flying horses and magic. He had wished his condition was due to magic, not due to being sick. The troll gave him his wish. He was now magical and no longer sick. Wendy returned
So she turned him into a awkward sculpture of an elf with big bulbous eyes.
I thought she turned him into a troll.
No, it was an elf because she kept referring to him as Brother Elf. Because she asked him, like, the first time, are you an elf? So that, they also have pointed ears. So either it's one of two things, an elf or a Vulcan.
Wendy returned home, and Harry Jr. watches her like a hawk. Harry sees his sister as the troll that night, and the next morning he goes to Eunice and has breakfast with her and explains what he saw. She tells the story of Torok, the troll. He is changing each apartment into different fairy kingdoms. She gives him a sphere and tells him to plunge it into Torok's heart.
So
the heart of his kingdom. It will be the biggest, ugliest creature, and it will not be happy to see you.
So here, take this curtain rod and stab something in the heart with it.
The biggest, ugliest thing you could find.
With this curtain rod. Did I tell you it's magical curtain rod?
And this thing will not be happy to see you. He leaves. And she, unpins her hair and turns into a much younger woman.
It always happens that way.
Goes into the forest with another staff, looking. Come on, pages. Looking for Torok. A big creature pulls it from her hand, and she runs back into the hall. Back into her apartment. She is face to face with Torok. Eunice is turned into a tree. Harry Jr. goes into the heart of the forest and finds Wendy. He wakes her up. The troll...
Does he wake her up? I think he tries to wake her up. No, he does, but she's in like this sort of like a glass...
Yeah. The troll heals. Tomb. The troll heals his own creature to save Wendy from it. The Potter family is reunited and goes, and all is good. The cops show up after. They try to figure out what happened. The Potters pack up and get out of town. One of the cops decide to check out the side of the building, and Torok, he got him. I don't know.
You don't know?
It says, so I take it it's not always good to check out everything. I guess some doors just need to stay shut, so.
Yeah.
And that's the end of Troll.
So, what did you think of it?
I prefer Troll 2, but, you know.
I give this 3. It's interesting. You can sit down with your kids and watch it. It's
the
not
concept
scary.
of it is fun. It's a little creepy, but the concept of it is fun.
Well, I always like the little sculptures. The sculptures are just... They look like wet clay. Like, all of them look like wet clay with big old bulbous eyes.
So there's quite a bit of trivia.
Yeah. I guess I'll start. The hero of the story, his name is Harry Potter Jr. He was surrounded by a fantasy world of witches. Yeah, this was 11 years before the publishing of Harry Potter. So, there you go. This is Julia Louis-Dreyfus's film debut. Julia Louis-Dreyfus has admitted being embarrassed of her infamous appearance in the film. Jay Leno antagonized the star by screening her scene as a nymph of the Tonight Show with Jay Leno episode number 21.125 2013 in April of 2013. This was supposed to...
This was a surprise to Louise Dreyfus, and she was visibly annoyed by Leno's dredging up her connection to this film.
Brad Hall and Julia play an on-screen couple in this film. In real life, the two were dating and would marry the year following the film's release. It remains the only live-action film in which they starred together, although both provided their voices to A Bug's Life in 1998. Although she remained covered in the film for her transformation into the fairy, an on-set photo of Julia was published in March 1986 issue of, oh boy, that's a word, Cinefantastique magazine, in which her bare breasts were visible. The movie Troll 2, 1990, despite its title, is not a sequel to this movie, and also does not contain trolls.
That's right.
That is definitely right.
It's troll-free.
The role of Malcolm Mallory was explicitly written for Phil Fendarkar, Director FX man John Carl Buechel was pressured to cast Billy Barty. Originally, a full animatronic puppet was intended to have been utilized for Turok the Troll, but Buechler scrapped his plan and sculpted a creature costume directly onto Fandango's live cast, knowing that the producer wouldn't want to pay two different actors.
Well, okay.
Those are a bunch of names I can't pronounce. The rat spit puppet from the Dungeon Master, aka the Dungeon Master 1984, is recycled. Okay. The picture of Gawain in his human form before turning into a mushroom that Eunice
St. Clair shows Harry Potter Jr. is a
character of the film's director John Carl B. There.
Buechler.
Yeah. As production began, Michelle Morty complained.
Michael Morty.
What? Why can I not read names now?
Complained to the director that he didn't understand his character. The day that they shot the scene in which Potter's family moves into the building,
the director
snatched a bucket,
hat off the head of his first assistant director,
put it on Morty. I look ridiculous, Morty said. So Harry Potter is ridiculous? A light bulb went off, and there was no further discussion of the character.
In the director's original story treatment, Torque was a master who was systematically killing off the inhabitants of the building slasher movie style. Producer Charles Band wanted to create a PG-13 movie, so the story was altered and the fantasy element was created. I actually would have liked to have seen the slasher movie of the Troll. I think it would have been a little bit more interesting.
While the film is not short on hideous or disgusting creatures, Turok is the only troll to appear on the scene. The other creatures are
Fey folk, nymphs, goblins, and other mythical beings. The director had been so impressed with Nola Hathaway's performance of the Neverending Story that he cast him as a lead in the film. Sonny Bono was only available for a few days, so during the second stage of his transformation sequence, makeup supervisor John Valek doubled for him. Contesto Profane, otherwise known as the Troll Song, was recorded prior to shooting and set the tone for the rest of Richard Bain's musical score. The characters were supposed to perform it as a full-blown production number, but due to limitations in the low-budget puppets, they had to grunt along with the music. Executive producer Charles Band appears briefly as part of a young couple's scene on television. The director first pitched the film to producer Roger Corman while they were working on Android in 1983, but Corman passed on it. The green and white hat Harry Potter Sr. wears at the beginning of the film is from Real Betis Balompié, a soccer team from Seville, Spain. The director intended to write the script himself, but he got tired by doing effects work on other projects and had to pass off the writing duties.
The movie was shot in 5 weeks, I believe that.
Yep.
John Carl Buechler appears in a small role as the sorcerer. That's the director, right?
Yeah.
I think everybody pretty much does that now. I'm directing this. I'm going to be in it too. So that is The Troll.
The Troll.
It's a classic, so we had to do it.
I think it's interesting. It's a nice fantasy horror film, I guess. I think you can definitely watch this with the family.
Yeah.
You can even watch it with non-horror people, and they would still get something out of it.
Yeah, because it's really not scary.
No. But there are really annoying parts in it. I feel like the rat burger scene was just a little long.
It is, and the pitch of her voice when she's screaming it, you're like, will you stop? Make her stop.
But it was cool to see Sonny Bono, I guess, in that film.
Yeah.
I sort of, it took me twice to go recognize that that's who that was. Anything else?
No, I think that's all.
All right, so we do have a Patreon. We do have a Redbubble for our merch. We are on YouTube.
Yep, and
We're going to start something up on
we're
the
going to be
YouTube.
doing some new stuff. We're going to be checking out some local stores and
Looking for some of that
Doing
haunted
some
Halloween stuff.
Halloween things. So checking out our YouTubes. We're going to be doing some new stuff on there, and
We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. All the social media so far.
yeah, so you guys hit us up on all that, and we'll scare you later.
All right, bye.